Emergency live stream. We got big news, and Megyn Kelly is basically breaking down the situation, which made me do this because I've noticed a lot of people want to ignore one of the biggest stories in the world. And I appreciate you guys for not ignoring this, not letting this get away, and holding people accountable. Speaking of Pam Bondi, I'm going to play this bombshell video from Megyn Kelly and also Benny Johnson, who I appreciate in the situation because he's also not hiding. He is showing his face. People are not hiding. They are holding others accountable, even if they're friends with them, even if they voted for them, even if they love them. That's what we do here on this channel. So after I play these clips, what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you to smash the like button. I'm going to send a link and we're going to have a conversation. You see, this person says they're done with me. This is for you. I am going to send you a link and I'm going to ask you what can be done to fix this situation. Are you still MAGA? Are you disappointed? Where do you stand? Should Pam Bondi resign? I am going to drop a link so you guys can come up here. I'm going to pin it. But before that, listen to this.
Kind of an attorney general would pretend she's giving new information to some of the president's most loyal advocates in the press, buying ink by the barrel. So either Pam Bondi knew she was about to embarrass some of his most loyal surrogates out there and did that willingly, or she didn't take the time to make sure what was in those binders. She was too lazy to actually figure out none of this is new. And yet she called a meeting with the influencers that included Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, and the sitting vice president. So she's either lazy and incompetent, or she willingly humiliated some of the president's most loyal supporters. Neither one of those is good, and that's why I'm sorry, but I'm going to predict her days are numbered as a member of the Trump administration.
Oh my God, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. She's about to resign. Megyn Kelly says her days are numbered. She's about to be out of here for the embarrassing moment. And she's been lying for months. And I've noticed a lot of people are trying to run cover for her. Why are you running cover for her? Benny Johnson, one of Trump's biggest loyalists, he's also not holding back from this and trying to make this go away. Why would you make this go away? Take a listen.
Yo, what's up, guys? Here's my take on the Epstein drama and PR nightmare over the last 24 hours for the Trump administration. It's a crisis. There's a crisis. And it's a tough crisis because something is horribly wrong here. For months, we heard that the Epstein list was sitting on the desk of officials like Pam Bondi, that there was mountains of evidence, truckloads of evidence, in fact, that had been brought into the DOJ for review. And we know, as a matter of fact, a couple of things here. One, that there is literally truckloads of evidence. We have the photos to prove it. You can see here. Here's, for instance, a photo of Epstein's safe inside of his mansion when the feds raided it. In that manila envelope is a pile of passports. Some of them include different names for Jeffrey Epstein on them. What countries were they from? In there, that box, that's a box of diamonds. Where do diamonds come from? Where are they now? These are very strange things. Here's a photo of hard drives. Piles of hard drives that were wrapped with evidence tape on them. Not by the feds. According to the FBI special agent in charge, who was in charge of the raid, Epstein put the evidence tape on those hard drives. So we know that there are voluminous mountains of evidence that we haven't seen as the American people. And yet the feds came out with a massive whitewash of all of this and released it to liberal media. It almost as an insult to everybody who's been following this story, and they just don't know the time. That's my take. They don't understand what time it is. They thought that they could just brush this under the rug and that people don't care. People do care. We care if our nation is run by a predator cult. That's important to know. And are those predators given free passes? Epstein certainly was. And so it's wild. It is blowing up. It is a nightmare. Truly. And I'm a massive fan of the Trump administration. A lot of these people are my friends. This one was wrong. They got this wrong. Now, what needs to happen, and I'll tell you, how do you fix this, right? You don't fix this by lecturing to us. Don't worry, bro. We looked into it and it's good. That doesn't work anymore. You've atomized the faith of the intelligence community, the FBI, and the DOJ. It's gone. It hovers around 0% for the American people. The way that it works is the way that Tulsi did it. Tulsi just released all of the documents, all of the evidence. And we don't need any more abuse materials. We don't need like grotesque stuff that like re-victimizes young. We don't need that. What we need is what they did with the JFK. What they did with JFK is just release all of it, right? Here's hundreds of thousands of pages. Some of that stuff is really interesting. Most of it's kind of boring, but you're going to see it because we trust you, the American people. That's how you reestablish trust in a relationship with anyone. You have to release it all. That's the only way out. This isn't going away. People are going to ask questions about this till the end of time. This will be an issue in 2032.
Yeah. So all right. So join the stage if you're ready to have a conversation with me. If you want to debate me on this, if you want to let me know whether you're still supporting the administration, should Pam Bondi be fired for this? As you heard, Megyn Kelly said she's out. Her days are numbered. She's pretty much done because of how embarrassing this was to make this overpromise, but not come. Here's something I want you guys to know. I'm 28. I'm under 30. There's rumors out there. Charlie Kirk said that the people that are over 35 years old don't care about this. And that shit bothers me because I'm kind of starting to get that same feeling. A lot of older people, and maybe not all of them, but they're on some, yeah, we don't really care about that. She shouldn't be fired for this. We don't really care about Jeffrey Epstein. And I'm like, what? So I think there is a disconnect between older people, boomers, baby boomers, or people in their 40s, mid 40s, even late 30s. There is somewhat a lot of people. Apparently, Charlie Kirk came out. He said that these older people, they just don't really care. They're ready to get over it. They're ready to move on. And you notice that some of these other channels are doing that. They're acting like nothing happened, like this doesn't matter. And I'm just laughing. Honestly, I'm just like, man, that's crazy. So again, if you're whatever age you are, whoever you are, there is a pinned link. I'm inviting any of you to come up here and talk to me. Maybe some of you guys won't. Maybe nobody will. But I need your opinion on this. I need to hear your voices. I need to hear you. You don't even have to show your face. You could just come on live stream and let me know. Should Pam Bondi be fired? Should we still care about this? Should we get over it? How do you feel about the Trump administration now? Some people are very frustrated. They feel like there's no coming back from this. They feel like this is so bad. How can you run cover for predators and pedophiles? How can you run cover for those people? What would you? So again, a lot of mixed emotions. I would like to hear you guys. So I'm hoping that the link is pinned. So that way you guys can come up. We got 372 likes. We got almost 1,500 people watching. So please smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys can. And if you guys don't want to come up here, I'm going to read your guys' comments. Okay, here we go. We got people saying, get over it. Okay, let's read some of these comments. Get over it, says Osage. Get over it. Yes, Pam Bondi needs to be fired. We shouldn't care about this. Let me read some of your stuff right here. Let me read this one right here. Google, can lawyers release evidence to public on an active case? You can't. Not ethical. Complex issue. If you do this, not releasing evidence may be a good thing. Let Trump cook. I'm gonna like that. I appreciate you and your donation. But the let Trump cook days are kind of fried when you have all the evidence that you can. Okay, so I'm reading your guys' comments. These comments are moving extremely fast. Okay, we got Anna. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring Anna up here. Hello, Anna.
Hello.
How are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Florida, Melbourne.
Nice. Welcome.
Thank you.
How do you feel about this? Are you disappointed about this? What's your personal feelings about this?
Well, I'm 60. I'm very disappointed. I voted for Trump to get our to have the government be, you know, put it out there for us. We need to know what happened. It shouldn't be pushed under the rug. And I believe seriously that Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, and the people that were trying to bring it out, I believe that not only their family members has been probably threatened, or seriously from the deep state has shut them down.
I'm going to read this comment real quick. It says, Gigser says, there are bigger fish to fry. Isn't this the biggest fish to fry?
I believe
Anna,
so. There's thousands of children that was hurt. What person in their right mind would not want to know who in our government is hurting our children? And especially now, the borders are closed. Children are getting snatched on the corners in New York. American children are going to be taken. These people are not going to stop unless the Americans stop them because our government, I believe, is in on it.
Diane Sullivan says, "Let it go." I'm telling you, it's pretty crazy.
They must
I,
be them cat people.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't. I feel like I don't know. I'm very confused. I'm so confused. Anna, thank you so much for joining. Shout out to Florida. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, next up we got Leslie. Leslie, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Lou?
I'm doing good, hanging in there. You know, talking to y'all, trying to get y'all's opinions on this. And where are you calling from, by the way?
I'm in North Carolina.
Shout out to North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. So yeah, just my opinion. Okay, I'm 51. Used to be a Democrat. Actually, I'm still registered as a Democrat. I just haven't changed it yet. Voted for Trump every time. All that good stuff. My thing with the Epstein files. I mean, yeah, I hate the lie. I hate the cover up and all of that. But big picture, our borders closed. Our economy is doing better. We're making progress with the tariffs. I mean, and the missing children, they are finding some children. Um, the children have been, I don't know. And the other thing too is who are we? If we get rid of Pam Bondi, who are we putting in? Who else do we have to put up as an AG? Look at all the court cases, all the injunctions. We've been like winning, 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 and Pam Bondi is a big part of that. So
okay.
I mean, I don't know. That's just my opinion.
So you're basically saying, it's- okay. So you're saying that there's a lot of winning going on, and this doesn't really matter. Let me ask you this.
I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm not. No, it matters. It matters.
Okay,
It
yeah,
does.
I don't want to misinterpret your words. So let me ask you this question: if all that winning had to go out the window to find out who these predators and these pedophiles are, would you trade it?
I guess I kind of feel like the information has been out there for so long. Like we know who's on the list. You
Do
know,
we? Do we though? That's the thing.
we may not know everybody who's on the list, but we know a good amount of people who's
But
on the
that,
list. Now whether you're talking about
yeah, but
um
hold on. I got to interrupt you here. Here's the issue with this. We are in power. We voted for these people. She's the attorney general. We have
mhm.
the deputy director of the FBI, and we have the director of the FBI. People that can actually make arrest and indict people. We're not on the other side anymore. We are the people that can take action. That's my issue with this. It's like I don't think that we actually know who's on the list, and even if we did, they must be arrested. Isn't that the whole point of getting into office? Making the
oh,
arrest?
oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Look, I want to see all of them arrested, and that's the I don't know what the word is. I'm looking. Look, it's like we're between a rock and a hard place. You know what I mean?
I agree. I actually, that's why I wanted to come on here because I just, I'm very conflicted on it. By the way, I appreciate you, Leslie, for coming on.
Absolutely.
I don't want you to think I'm trying to like be hard on you. I'm just asking these questions because
No.
these are things on my mind, and I kind of, I feel like having 2,000 people on here, a bunch of people on stage, I feel like it's better to talk to y'all than just to hold it in because these are questions that that I'm asking myself. But in closing. What do you think should happen now? What do you think we should do?
I mean, honestly, if we could find, like, if there's someone who's going to be effective, or more effective as an AG, and they're out there, then that's who we need to get. And then yeah, she should be fired. But and that's the thing, like when we get these people in the beginning, yeah, it's all about MAGA, what we're gonna do, We're gonna get this done, we're gonna get this done. But then once they get in there, well, we see they start lying, turning their backs. Look at Cash, look at Dan. So and that's the tricky part about it. Like people say they're one thing and gonna do one thing, but then they don't. Yeah.
Leslie,
I
thank
mean,
you
at
so
the
much
end of the
for
day,
doing
it's
that.
in God's hands.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Leslie. I appreciate you.
All right, Lou. Good night.
Shout out North Carolina. All right, next we got James. James, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, Lou? What's up? All
All
right,
right.
so let me play like a devil's advocate. I'm over here in New Hampshire slash Massachusetts. I'm a former Mass resident, right? Former Union guy, all that fun stuff. So let's just say they're using the list to use it to make power plays behind the scenes, right? And they're using it because they can't let it be known what they're gonna do in the public and say, oh, we're gonna go after this FBI office or this political system or any of that, right? So let's just say they have it or what's left of it, because we could assume a lot of things have been destroyed, right? Over the last 4 years, knowing Trump's the one that opened the door to Epstein. You know what I mean? That's why I'm confident Trump is clean when it comes to Epstein, but there's so many people in higher power behind the scenes, like the darkest of the dark. But I think Trump's using what we have to use, and I think we're using it to go after people. I think that's how we're finding some of these kids, these rings, these operations. There's a lot of dark things like a lot of people don't see. You know what I'm saying? Like that are like military type operations. You're not going to hear about a lot of them, but the stuff you're hearing. So it's like, why are we winning all over the place if there's not something bigger to it? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even think like Epstein's protected at a point to he's either not dead or whoever killed him is just somebody you can't touch, like CIA type stuff. Does that make
By the
sense?
way, James, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I want to give a thanks to Andrew. Thank you so much for your donation as well. And then I also want to say, if you're sending donations, I want to make sure that I read them. And George, I want to make sure that I read this comment in a bit. So I'm going to leave it right there. All right. Okay, James, real quick, I want to ask you this. So,
Yeah, yeah.
do you think that again? Because look, when people like what you said, I respect your opinion, but my whole thing is like, I think that's a level of cope. I think that just like even Roseanne Barr was, she was like, Trump, you got to read the room. Because Trump's reaction to threw me off. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I love Trump, but that shit threw me off. Where he's like, we're talking about Epstein, we're talking about that creep, and I'm like, whoa, man, like what are you? You don't think that we care? We don't think that we should. So I'm not sure if he's out of touch, but that reaction was not a good one. So to say that maybe he's using this as leverage to catch or do something, sure, I'm open to that, but I don't know. It's confusing. What do you think should happen now?
I think. Well, I mean, first of all, how early are we in this presidency? You know what I'm saying? And Trump couldn't trust anybody the first time he was president. We know he was robbed the second time by a bunch of corruption, right? So like we can't really blame Trump even if there is something going on because he can't be everywhere at once and have his ear everywhere and talking to everybody. So I feel like if there is something, he might be aggravated to the point where he wants to know too, but he ain't getting the answers he wants. But he can't tell us that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you look at the system at all angles, at all levels, the court systems, how they're trying to oversee all this stuff with the corruption and Doge findings and things like that. Like you just got to keep faith. We're only. It's not like this is year 4 of this presidency. You know what I'm saying? Like I know we want fast answers, but I think there's a glitch in the system. Obviously, I think regardless of who people support, Israel has some kind of hand in something because they're too small to be too big. If that makes any sense.
Uh, I understand what you're saying, bro. What
I
you
don't
said
want to get
you're
demonetized because I know you deserve every penny you get. I appreciate guys like you.
nah, I
I support
appreciate you
guys like
coming
you.
on. I appreciate you. You said where you watching from?
I'm in New Hampshire, right on the
New
Mass
Hampshire.
line.
New Hampshire. All right, thank you, James. I appreciate you, brother.
Salute, brother.
Shout out to James. I love the beard, bro. Um, We got another $10 donation here. The deputy AG is Todd Blanche. If Bondi leaves, Blanche will likely be the next AG. He's badass as well. I don't even care. Somebody got to be held accountable. I don't care. Like I just think that she fumbled and she was smiling. It just doesn't look good. And I think everybody sees that. I think we all do. And I think that this is a huge fumble. This is a stain. Unfortunately, it hurts to say, but let's just continue before I go on a rant. I don't want to go on a rant. Stephanie, where are you watching from, Stephanie?
Hey, I'm in St. Petersburg, Florida. How you doing tonight?
Shout out St. Petersburg.
Yeah, it's funny. I've been watching this thing. I've been into this thing for years, but one of the things that I keep coming back to all the time is we have to remind ourselves Trump is a chess player. He is a stellar chess player. He has things behind the scenes that none of us know and will never know until he comes out. And when he comes out with that Trump card, it's going to be incredible. He has done it 1,000 times over. And I really believe that something up his sleeve with this whole deal. I think he's putting it in the back burner and they're talking the way they are because they need to have that time. You got to remember, these people are so dangerous and so big for so many years. They are going to threaten the lives and the families of these people beyond recognition. And they're going to do anything in their power to make sure that they continue to keep their power. These people have so much, they can't lose it now. We're talking decades in the making. So they're about to lose everything and they know it. They're going to be backed against the wall. When you put a lion against a wall, what's he going to do? He's going to devour everything. But we have Trump and we have his team. They are going to, I think they're going to incinerate everybody. I really do believe that it's going to come. I don't know. I just have this thing about it. They have all the information that they need. The problem is that he has to plan strategically like a chess game. And once he plays those pieces, there is no turning back. And they all know they're all about to go. They are so terrified. Look at some of the people that aren't even in politics, just the celebrities alone that are all coming out of the woodwork. I mean, if you look at Hollywood right now, I was just watching yesterday, the Avengers are all walking away from Disney. And I mean, you're talking about these are actors and actresses. And I mean, they're all waking up to the fact that these people are controlling them and they're done. It's like everybody's finally getting on board. And I think personally, as citizens, we all need to start getting on board with everything that's going on too. We need to really start being accountable ourselves and how we are reacting to the things that are going on. And I mean, I'm a believer. I'm a Jesus believer follower. And I'll tell you, they keep telling us, be calm and be collected. Yeah, that's fine. But you know what? There is a righteous anger that we are allowed to have. Jesus had it. We need to step our foot down. And we really need to start calling this stuff out ourselves. You've got these people out there and they're protesting and they're doing their thing. There has to be another way for us to be able to join in with them, to support them, and stand behind them. We need to remember that we have to be silent. Is to be silent with this group of people we're dealing with in the White House right now, because I truly believe they know what they're doing because they want the same things that we want and they believe the same things that we believe. So I really don't think they are like sweeping this under the rug. I think they're making it look like they're sweeping it under the rug, but it's not going to stay that way for long. I think
Okay.
I definitely out of the fence, crash them all. But we all know we know Dan Bongino. We know how he is. Another one is Alex Jones was just on. He was talking about it too, and it's a big deal. And he was actually thinking the same thing that I was thinking. So you never know. Really don't. I think we need to look at the other side of the fence and just remember he's a good chess player, and we got to trust his moves because, I mean, look at what he's done so far in just the past 6 months. You know.
Okay. I disagree with a lot of what you said. I understand where you're coming from. I would say that I disagree with Damn, everything. Not everything, but it's just more like I don't know if this is a level of cope that I want to cope with, because
Yeah.
okay, Trump could be playing chess, but what type of chess would this be? Not sure, because Pam Bondi has come out and said that there was, she had the list, there was a list, and she's coming out that there's no list.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Remember,
know.
first reaction is always the right one. Have you ever heard that saying? So she has the list. They got the list. The problem is the are on that list are you got to remember that if they call out those people, you're talking the CIA, you're talking people that have been.
But that's the whole point of getting elected, right? Like that's
Yeah,
the whole
oh,
point.
I agree with you 1,000%, but there has to be a way to do it because if we don't do it properly, it'll destroy our entire system.
That's the point. That's what you voted for. Give me 1 second. HB Football Mom, thank you so much. I appreciate your $10 donation. I think that that's the point. I think that if you have it, you release it, whatever havoc it costs, then you live with that.
I agree.
Um,
I agree.
because we're talking about sinister individuals, and we're talking about a list of people, footages, and who's actually behind it, right? We got Mossad, we got CIA, but I think that this is a cover up. That's what I think this is. This is a cover up. And I think the Trump administration is covering up because they don't want shit to get too crazy or things to get too crazy for certain people. So then you're just running cover for those people. You're covering those people. I don't think that those people will eventually get held accountable because they never have been held accountable. How long have we said or have we insinuated that there is people that do very bad things to children or behind the scenes? Those people are this administration right now. What Pam Bondi is doing, she's running cover.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me. This is a cover up.
I agree.
Who are you covering for? And why are you not? My problem is this, and I want people to understand this perspective. Why are you not aggressively trying to get the truth? Why are you freezing in the moment? Why are you aggressively, even if you don't, and even if they deleted all these things, why are you going after those people that deleted it? Why are you going after people? Why are you not aggressive and where's the urgency for this? I don't know. But again, you have your point of view that you're saying that you got to trust Trump and do all these things. And I personally, I think he should fire Pam Bondi and show us that he's for real about it,
Well,
because she stuck her nose where it shouldn't have been, where she said that she had the files, that all this stuff was going to come out, and she had the public hyped up. And the next thing you know, there's a report that comes out from Axios and all these Fox News and everybody's saying that there is no report, that there's no list, and that he never blackmailed anybody. So I think that was wrong. I think that that's why I think she should be held accountable for that. Anything else, I could kind of get with. I can hold back and hold on, but
well, no, I agree with you on all of that. Absolutely, 100%. But we have to remember something too is that if Trump is disagreeing with somebody for a specific reason and he knows that it's wrong, he's going to fire her. And that wouldn't make any difference. So that's why I'm saying this just looks too much like they're planning something. And I think honestly, that we need to give it a couple of months and see where it leads because I mean, I'll tell you, if it was me in office right now, I'd be at the doorstep of those people and I would be arresting them. I don't care because even just the small amount of information that we have should be more than enough to drag them in and do something with them because this is insane. I'm sorry. I mean, even as a citizen, if they were to get rid of her tomorrow and tell me walk in there, even without the credentials, I don't know anything about any of that stuff, but I know enough. And if I were to walk in there, I wouldn't care. I'd be stepping all over the place. I'd be climbing to get to them and drag them in. I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't care. I would take that sacrifice because as a citizen of this country, it is our job as citizens to make sure that we are safe at all times and we're taking care of our country, whether we serve in the military or just live here. And nobody else is paying attention to doing that. This girl needs to be gone if that's the case. Why wouldn't Trump automatically drop her if that is the case? Because he would drop anybody in a minute. So I don't understand why he wouldn't do it immediately. So there's got to be something up his sleeve.
I don't know. I think you're very optimistic. I can appreciate that, but I think when you're talking about children, when you're talking about pedophiles, there's no games to be played here.
Oh,
Just put it all out there. Get aggressive.
yeah.
Why would you? This is not the 4D chess game. This is people's lives. This is evil. This is satanic. There's no games to be played here. I don't care what price we have to pay as a country to get the truth about something you said existed. Stephanie, thank you so much. We have a full house, so I'm excited about this. Stephanie, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for having a conversation with me. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Shout out St. Petersburg. Um, yeah, I'm just not that guy, bro. Somebody said, so Lou, you're ready for World War III? Again, I think there's an age gap here between a lot of us. I think a lot of you guys are so nonchalant about this. And the way you're handling this, I'm critical of you. If your approach is we shouldn't really, you know, we shouldn't risk it all to find out who the evil people are. Isn't that the whole point of living your life? Isn't that the whole point of Christianity? So I think you would be hypocritical trying to save face, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Uh, so again, but if you think I'm way off on this, just explain to me why. Amber, hello.
Oh, hey Lou. Uh, I was. There's a bunch of noise in the other room. I hope they
No,
just started. You
I
just started.
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, good. Listen, I've been leaving comments in your last four videos. I miss all your lives, and I have been saying, I've been watching the comms for about 7 years, right? And the most recent one, it's been like on my mind, and I'm right on point with you about Israel because the comm says saving Israel for last. Okay, so where's Netanyahu been for the last few days or whatever? At the White House. And he's tight with Trump, right? Okay, and Trump's got to take him down. He's got to expose him. But right now, at the same time, look at what our National Guard, our military, the Marines, they're trying to get our country clear. We're trying to do so much at one time. It's I have been advocating for the children at any cost. We need to take them down. And I believe they are being taken down as we're speaking. We're not seeing it, but just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. But I believe that Netanyahu, now I don't want to get you in trouble, but I believe that that's the pause.
Uh
That's the
oh.
reason I
Okay,
believe
okay,
it.
it's getting spicy on this live stream.
Hey,
Okay. No.
this,
I don't think. No, you can say BB Nan. Yeah, you can say your opinion. I
okay,
don't think. Yeah, I don't think
okay,
YouTube is not as hard on this stuff as they used to be.
okay,
um, because people are getting more comfortable with the conversations now. So
right.
YouTube's more or less lenient on that. By the way, thank you so much, Anna, for your donation. Sean Steven, thank you so much for your donations. He says thousands of victims. Where are they now? Why aren't some speaking out on this? Likely terminated and harvested worldwide. Couldn't agree more. But I think that that's the whole basis of this. Is like I don't think Amber, you know what it is? I'm gonna make a confession. And shout out to
Okay.
I think there's 2,940 people in here. I think 2,845 people care about this for real. And there's a few that probably just don't. They're just like, whatever, bro. Like, why are you talking about this? We kind of don't care. We're ready to move on. So yeah, I think that it's gonna be tough. Like, yeah, we're all gonna eventually have to move on, but it's gonna be hard. I think it's do you think this is gonna be a stain if this doesn't get resolved in the next 4 years, that we don't get arrest or we don't get names and we don't get no results from this? And according to Stephanie, she thinks that this is Trump's plan. If Trump's plan never goes out the way she said it was, do you think this is a stain on his legacy?
Listen, I don't believe there's going to be a stain. I believe we're on a short pause and some things have to take place. It's like you get one shot. You got one kill shot to take it all completely down and get rid of our pedo nation. This Our nation has been run by nothing but freaking pedophiles. I'm done with it. I can't even stand to see a man going out in public and seeing a man look at a little girl. You know what? Hey, I would give up my life. I would like to see the world end if that's what it's going to take to expose these
Finally, finally,
motherfuckers. I'm sick of
finally,
it. Now, you know
finally.
what's going on. You know, the world knows what's going on, and they're so eager. Oh, what? Fuck that list. Trump's right on that part. That list has nothing to do with cutting all the balls off of all these
Whoa, whoa,
pedophiles
whoa, whoa,
and
whoa, whoa,
putting
whoa,
them
whoa,
away.
whoa, 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 Amber, Amber, whoa, whoa. I love you, Amber, boy. Slow down. Don't want to get me suspended now. I appreciate Amber. She was going off. I'm not saying she's wrong, but man, she just went full blown demonetization mode. But yes, we appreciate Amber for what she said. And yes, we should all have that thought about those type of people. We should. But we also don't want this live stream to get cut off. So I appreciate you. We got a lot of people to bring up, man. Let's go to Gina. Gina, hello.
Hi there. How you doing? I got to tell you, I'm feeling a little black pilled today.
Uh oh.
I
Tell me
really
why.
am. I got to tell you,
Wait, Gina, Gina, where are you
yeah.
watching from?
I'm in Ponte Vedra, Florida, just south of Jacksonville.
Okay, okay.
So anyhow, I have to tell you, it literally hurt me today when I watched live President Trump's response when he took up for Bondi. That really bothered me. And I gotta tell you, being in Florida, I'm familiar with Pam Bondi. She's not acting like her normal self. When I listen to her talk, she sounds like she's about to ruin her suit. Okay? Just like when Bongino and Patel, they look like they were dying inside. And I'm going to tell you, I wish I could be as optimistic as some of your other guests, but it makes zero sense. Nobody's been talking about Epstein, really. Everybody's been talking about all this drama with this third party and, all this. With all that drama that's causing a lot of decisiveness, why would Pam Bondi drop this bomb now that there's nothing to see here? It's just weird. And they're trying to just shut it. She tried to open it up a little bit with, well, something about was he an intel agent or was he owned by the CIA or something like that? And she says she doesn't know anything about that. She can get back to us. This is my take. Two things can be true at the same time. I can still support this administration, but we can also hold them accountable. We live in a new age, okay? Let me tell you, if you were to take a poll right now, I don't know how many people are on your YouTube channel right now, but if you were to take a poll right now and everybody raise their hand if they've ever been a victim of child sexual abuse, or know somebody or related to somebody. And I bet you would be astonished. This situation needs to be brought to the light. It's more than just rich people going to jail and being held accountable. I'm 55 years old. I every day, okay, I was a victim of this. One of my children was a victim of this. It's run rampant in my family. You want to know something? I don't have enough fingers and toes to count on because my generation was a generation that was being molested by priests. Okay, and then you've got them in daycare centers. You got them everywhere. Okay, there is a pedophile culture in this country, and it is a demonic spirit. And I don't give a crap if it takes down nations because, and I'll have to Google it. I apologize. It's been a minute since I've had my Bible open, but there is a scripture that talks that God says it's better to have a millstone tied around your neck and be tossed into the sea before you hurt a child. Okay. Well, it doesn't mean just drowned. Okay. And have 4 or 5 minutes of pain. What that scripture actually means is that, man, bitch, you better hide so deep in the earth that God can't find himself. That's what the true meaning of that scripture means. Okay? So I tell you, I just saw a clip of John. Go ahead.
No, no, I personally, I just want to say you are one of the best callers I've ever had. I finally have a caller that I, damn, because you kind of made me emotional. I just finally, somebody said it. Somebody did it. Somebody said it. I don't care if nations burn down behind this. That's it. That's the whole point of being a Christian. Like that's it.
That's right. That's right. There, I'm telling you, I don't know how
So good.
YouTube works, but my God, take a poll. Take that poll that I asked you, because I'm going to tell you, these
I'll
people,
do the poll. I'll do the
these
poll right
people
now.
who are lukewarm on this shit, stir their hearts. Let them think in the back of their head who's been affected by this wickedness. That's the truth. And I just saw a clip of Bongino. Okay, I bought his merch. I bought Cash Patel's books. These people better bring in the freaking receipts. All right, they've made careers off this shit. All right. And I'm going to tell you, Dan Bongino, I don't know if it was Benny Johnson. Somebody's been playing all these old clips from when they had interviews. And he said, don't ever give up on this. Don't ever let this go. And you know what? We need to be literally going to his page, his X page. Hey, do you remember this date? I don't know who it was. I don't have the time to do all that. But he did say, don't let this go. And we're going to take him by the words that he said before he stepped into the administration. And we're not going to let it go.
Finally. Oh,
Okay? That's what X is for.
finally,
That's what
finally.
Truth Social's for, okay? We don't sit here and elect these people and sit around and bite our nails for 4 fucking years. Are you crazy?
Oh, we
No.
finally.
Hold them accountable. Let me tell you, if in 90 days from now we don't hear nothing, we need to be at the White House and be peaceful protesting.
Yes.
Okay?
Finally,
We need to
somebody
say,
says
Trump,
it.
we love you, but we want this. We demand it.
Wow. Gina
That,
Marie.
hold them. I'm not waiting 4 freaking years. Are you crazy? Hell no.
Okay, Gina, I did this. I did the poll 1 minute ago. 340 votes. 80% say yes, they have been a victim or know somebody that has been a victim of abuse. 80 to 20.
I'm telling you, we've got a pedophile culture in this country.
Yeah. I want to say thank you, Chase, Crisis
That's
King.
another thing to put on X. That's another thing. People who do YouTube like you do, people need to start doing this so that way we can let people know, we can let our administration know how much we care about this.
Ah, man. Bob,
If the
thank you so much, Bob.
administration knew,
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you, real quick, to those who are sending donations, and I want to make sure that I read what you're saying. Bob, thank you so much for your donation. So we did the poll. Right now is an 80-20 poll. Gina, thank you so much for coming on. You've been, I think, top one caller on this. I think your attitude is the correct attitude to have here. And I think that this is what we should be saying and talking about. We shouldn't be coming. Um, thank you, Gina. Thank you. I'm gonna remove.
thank you. God bless you.
God
Keep
bless you
going.
as
I hear
well.
you.
One of the greatest calls. But I think that when you see other creators take the stance of like trying to move on and that they're trying to like, I think that I think you've lost the plot if that's the take. Again, like she put it into perspective. What's the perspective she put it into? Pedophiles, people getting abused, people getting sexually abused. This is a huge issue in this country. It's a huge issue overall. This is a shadow of it, and this is an umbrella that is literally a symbol. This Epstein stuff is a symbol for it. We saw it with Diddy. We saw it with like it's a thing. Like this thing does happen. So I appreciate her comments on this. I think that's the way that I look at it. And that's the way other people do. Not everybody does. But man, she went off. I appreciate her. I really do. All right. What's your name, brother? Where you calling from?
Hey, my name's Shane. I'm Filter Troll in the chat. I'm from Arizona. I was just calling in. That Gina was her name. I mean, she was on point.
W Gina. Yeah.
She was on point. And the thing is I don't know. You could take a poll on this. How many people have a daughter in the chat, or forget about a daughter, a kid, right? I have a daughter, and I would never let this go. I would never let this go. And I don't care who it is. I don't think we should get sucked into the trap of picking one person to blame, because there's a lot of people involved in this. And I'm with Gina on this. I'm cool with taking the whole place down, you know. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a daughter. I'm a male. I was abused, and I was abused by somebody who was another kid who was abused, and that's why he abused me. And it's a whole chain reaction. So I just feel like I'm really upset. I'm new to the channel. I've been in the chat a couple of days now. I'm really upset to see people splitting up and taking sides on this, because if this wasn't about MAGA, if this wasn't about the Republican Party or anything like that, I don't think we would be arguing over whether people are allowed to do this to kids or not. I don't think we'd be arguing over that. I think that would be a clear cut answer. And if your clear cut answer isn't that people who screw around with kids like this need to be held accountable, I'm not with you.
Let me ask you a question, Shane. I'm gonna ask the chat this question. I think this question has been weighing on my head for since all this went down. If this was Kamala's administration and her AG and DOJ came out, her DOJ FBI came out and said that they've come to the conclusion that Epstein didn't have anything. He didn't have a list and he didn't run an operation.
Yeah,
What do you think our reaction would be?
yeah, we'd be
It,
out for blood. We'd
we'd be
already
out.
be out there.
I'd be outside.
Hmm.
People would be
Yeah,
outside. I
yeah,
think that would be like, I think that's what will get people to go outside.
yep,
You know what I mean? I'm just gonna
yep,
be honest. If this was under Kamala's administration and they came out with a report that said that Epstein pretty much is like he's a nobody or this never really happened, there is no list, there's nothing here, I think people would lose their minds.
100%.
So yeah, I think we should just be real about that. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do. I just trying to have a real conversation, bro. I'm not trying to suck up to anybody, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be that guy. I wouldn't live with myself, really. When I'm 35, 40 years old, I want to make sure that I can look back and tell my children, eventually when I'm 50, my grandchildren, I want to tell them that I was fighting for that, or I was saying this, or I was speaking against that, or I voted for Trump because of this. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
and
don't know.
I
That's
think
just my opinion.
I think one thing you said the other day really hit with me. You put all this effort in, way more effort than I did. All I did was go to the voting poll. You did all this stuff for this man, for this administration, and we believed in these people, and they're lying to me. And I don't tolerate liars in my family. I don't tolerate liars with friends. I don't tolerate liars with anybody. So my politicians don't get a pass. And once this happened, I was like, listen, you're executing on the border. You're executing. The economy's okay. The tariffs are kind of scaring me, but they're okay. But when you do this, I'm like,
Yeah,
wait, and I'm just gonna believe everything you said afterwards. I can't do it. I don't do it with anybody else in my life. I'm not gonna do it with them.
yeah. I couldn't agree more, Shane. I appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yep. Peace, man. See you guys
Appreciate
in the
you. Shout
chat.
out to Shane, man. Where you say you watching from?
Arizona.
Arizona. I love Arizona. What part?
Beautiful. I live in it's like the Tempe area, Phoenix, Tempe area.
Okay, Tempe. That's far from like Scottsdale and all that, right?
Yeah, like 45 minutes or something
Okay,
like
okay.
that. Yeah,
That's
it's different
good.
than the East Coast. The East Coast, everything's built up. I'm from
Yeah,
Pennsylvania, so everything's built up. Everything's on your
yeah.
block. Out here, you got to drive 30 minutes to
Yeah,
get
you
anywhere.
gotta drive everywhere. Yeah. Just
Hmm.
like Texas, kind of. All right, brother. Thank you
Yep.
so much, man.
All right,
Appreciate
peace,
you.
man.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The list is very long on how many people are here. I'm gonna try to get to as many as I can. I ain't gonna lie to you, but man, we are a packed house. Let's go to Allison. Where are you watching from, Allison? You're muted. You will have to unmute yourself.
Sorry.
There you go.
Oh, heck. Hello.
Hello.
I'm in Warsaw, Missouri right now.
Okay,
Can you hear
okay.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear your
Okay,
dog
hello.
too.
I'm in Warsaw, Missouri.
We can hear you.
Hello, Lou. Okay.
Uh,
I agree with a lot of what people are saying, but I think that we're not remembering how passionate Cash Patel and Dan Bongino were. They want this bad. They've wanted it for years. They fought for it. They told us to never give up on it. They looked like they'd seen a ghost when they were on TV. I know that, I mean, we voted for them to be in there. We trusted them. There is clearly something that they ran into that we have no idea about it. This is a spiritual war. These are whole countries and governments, and this has been going on for decades. And they've run into something, or there was a plan that they didn't know about until they got in. But I can't give up on them yet. 6 months from now, nothing comes of this. I was molested. I come from a long line of people being molested. I'm as passionate about it as anybody could be. I pray for these children day and night. But they wanted to save these kids. Tom Homan wants to save these kids. And I mean, I would lie to my child and say, when they had to get their shots, because it was good for them. So this is one time where I'm just praying with all my heart, because I have to, that they know they're lying. They know that we know that they're lying. So there has to be a plan. There has to be. There's something bigger that they didn't know until they got there.
okay. There's a theory that I just ran into. For some reason, Jeffrey Epstein's brother went on the Piers Morgan show and said that he is now promoting a conspiracy theory that Trump was involved in his brother's death.
Oh
We'll
my.
talk about that another time. That's
Well,
crazy. But
I will
Allison, thank you
say,
so much. Um,
okay,
I got a lot of other people to get to.
I gotcha.
You say you were watching from Missouri.
Yes.
All right. Is there any
But I
rain
do
out there?
yes, constantly. Not today, right now, though. But Trump was the one that kept bringing up Epstein, saying that, Bill Clinton was going to have trouble with that island. He was the one that kept bringing it out to the public. He's the one that, helped him even get caught in the first place. So I think that if he had anything to do with any of this, he wouldn't have been the one promising to bring all this about.
Okay. All right. Allison, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Lou. Bye.
All right. All right. Let's see. Who's next? We have 831 Patriot.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm here.
I hear you. What's going on? Where you watching from, man? What's your
Uh,
name and where you watching from?
Russell, and I live in, we'll just say Central Coast, California.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. What are your thoughts here, man? What should happen to Pam Bondi?
Well, I do believe something's going on. We might not approve of it, but we got mad at Trump before and it backfired on us. So I'm not sure he's not got something cooking in the background. And if you notice, Gabber's not talking.
Okay. Good point.
And who's the
Director of
one that
National
reads all
Intelligence.
this? Who's the one in charge of going through all this?
Director of National Intelligence. Yep, you're correct.
And I'm wondering why she's not saying anything. So it's possible Trump is playing his cards and we just haven't seen his hand yet. And that he's trying to dismiss it as much as he can, which is not looking good at all. I got to admit, I'm a little upset, but last time I was getting upset at him, it turned out to be okay. And that was when we went over there. We were thinking we were starting a war when the war never happened.
No, that's not what we were. That's not why I was mad at him.
No, but that's what a lot of
I
people,
was
that
mad
was
at.
one of the reasons.
I wasn't even mad at him. I said I was mad at the actions of bombing Iran in the name of Israel. That's all I was. That's all I was mad
Yeah,
at.
that whole war, I don't like the
So
situation.
even if we didn't start a war, one of the main reasons I disagreed with the actions, even though it worked out and I was wrong, on what the repercussions are going to be, because we are actually more powerful than I even realized, knowing that we were powerful. So I think what that is the definition of peace through strength. It's like showing your strength in order to achieve peace, right? I beat you up, so that's why I don't want to fight you. That's a great strategy. It's worked for Trump. I was just saying I don't want to go and do this for Israel. That's all I was saying. I don't want to do it for another
No,
country.
as far as I'm concerned, and I know how you feel. As far as I'm concerned, we should stay out of their business.
Yes,
We tried to do a peace. If it doesn't work, that's between the two of them. As long as there's not a nuke involved.
yes, I agree. I couldn't agree more. And you said you were watching from where?
I'm from Central Coast, California.
Central Coast, California.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not sure. Are you like in a little red area, or like how is that area? Is it
No, the
super
whole
liberal?
state is red, but no, I live in an agricultural town.
You said the whole state of California is red. You think so?
Well, no,
It's
it's
getting there.
turning
It's getting
red.
there.
It's becoming
Yeah,
red.
yeah, it is. It is.
Everybody's taking the red pill because Gavin's been shoving it down everybody's throat.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. They want to criticize ICE, but it's like, do you guys remember what you did like during COVID? Like
Yeah, but
that was
those aren't
crazy.
true citizens, though. Those
Yeah,
aren't true citizens. I tell you what, that wouldn't happen in my town.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm white, and I am the minority where I live.
And it wouldn't happen there.
Well, I do. I'm smack dab in the middle of the lettuce bowl capital of the world. And you know what? Most of the people that work in our fields are working on with a contract of some type, green card, work visa, or their company has a contract. So these people had to be pre-approved to be able to come over to work. I'm not saying there's not illegals here. I know there is, but we don't need the illegals to work.
Yeah, because the people that are working probably have pre-approved visas and stuff like that, like you said. So they're doing it the right way or legal way.
For the most part, yes.
For the
And
most
I know not everybody around here is doing it, but it's a give
We
and
got to
take
talk about
thing.
amnesty. Nah, we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to
No.
go off the rails. But thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you coming on.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Real quick, I want to read Wolf's Watch. He sent $20 donation. Also, somebody said that I ran past their donation and what they said. I apologize for that. Uh, as an ex-cop, he says, and PI, private investigator, I don't like the big picture. The way I see it, with everything that we have known up to this point, include the faces of the people lying. Either Trump is using this as an ace, or the deep state is just that dangerous. Also, I want to read this comment from people that I want you guys to be careful with, right? Some of y'all think I'll be tripping when I say some people literally look at Trump like he's God, like he's a king. This is a comment that would pretty much signify what I mean. This guy says Lou is being a bitch. He just said Trump is out of touch. Fuck you, Lou. Is Trump your fucking dad? Is he your king? Like, why would you have that reaction that if I have a criticism that I said Trump was out of touch with with the way he answered and how he answered um, the question about Epstein, you think that I'm a bitch and you're gonna say F you to me? But what I want y'all to see is that a lot of more people like this exist, and we got to stay away from them because Trump is not a king. Trump is not Jesus. We only worship one king, and his name is Jesus Christ. So please stop taking this route. This is not the route to take. I promise you, it's not. And I've been seeing it a lot lately in my DMs and my direct messages. Some people threatening me. It was a threat that I had. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? Some dude talking about I'm gonna find you because of my stance. And I'm like, bro, what is wrong with you? Like you're sick. Taylor, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, man?
I see you. I see you doing so. I didn't know whether you was writing or something, but I saw you there. What's
Oh
going on,
yeah,
man?
man. I'm just writing a little bit of stuff here, but yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. But yeah, you know, it's super disappointing because I mean, obviously we want to have retribution for all the kids and all the all the things that happened to these kids on Epstein Island, all this stuff. We want to see some heads roll. I mean, we want to see is the administration that we just voted for I mean, this is like our Alamo, right? Like, I live in Texas. I think you may remember me from, I think I spoke to you like last week or something. But I live in Texas. This is our Alamo. I mean, this is the Trump administration is our Alamo. I mean, this is our last stand to try to get back on top as the American people, and not just where we feel like the government is actually going to be transparent with us and hold people accountable. That's what this was for me, not only for retribution for the kids that were harmed, but this was the telltale sign of, is the government actually going to be honest with us, or are they just going to roll over on us, like every other administration? That's what this was, for, I think, for a lot of people. It was like, let's see what happens with this, and this will be the biggest sign if our government's actually going to be honest with us. Um, you know,
Yeah, I mean, who knows, right? Because Stephanie, she spoke earlier, and what if, like, out of nowhere, we have like 5 arrests in one day that are connected to Epstein? What would we say then? Right? So I'm not look, Trump is full of surprises, man. I'm not gonna lie. This is a guy that for the first time in history, remember what he exploded. He was like, speaking of Iran and speaking of Israel and the ceasefire, he literally sat up there and, excuse my language, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Right? You got two countries that have been fighting for so long that they don't know what the F they're doing. Like, so he's unpredictable. He's an anomaly. He's unpredictable. So I'm not going to put it past that out of nowhere the director of national intelligence announces, and the AG like literally announced like 10 arrests in one day connected to Epstein, and then boom, we don't know what maybe that could be a case. But when you have this happen where he's like, don't, let's not talk about it, why are we still talking about it? Or you have an actual report, or like a closure, right? A conclusion from the DOJ that there was no list. So that's why people are like, whoa, 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 wait a minute, that's not the right direction. But again,
yeah,
who knows, bro? Like, who knows what could happen? All I'm doing is, this is the information we have in front of us, and I don't think you should
right.
play the long game with something that is as cynical as this. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't think that, I mean, we don't appreciate the way that Trump handled that reporter who asked that very fair question. Like, yeah, there's other stuff going on, but y'all just dropped the news. Y'all just dropped the news about this Epstein list like the day before, and then the next day you expect us not to ask questions about it. Like, you can't. I'm sorry, that's a complete Democrat move right there, to sit here and gaslight us and act like we're crazy for asking the question. So that's what I'm upset about. Is I expect you to be honest with me. All we can react to is the information that we're presented, like, kind of like you're saying, I think, Lou. All we can do is react to the information that we have at hand, and based on what's going on right now, it's completely unacceptable for him to have that reaction to that question. Yes, we want to know. We don't want to know. Kind of like Benny Johnson said, we don't need to know all the we don't need to see the grotesque things, but we want to know how you came to this conclusion. Break it down to us. Show us exactly how you came to. Oh, there's no client list. What did you find out? Tell us. You know. And lastly, gosh darn it, man. It's just about the accountability of it. It's just a big letdown. Losing my train of thought, so I'm trying to
No, no,
recover.
it's all good. It's all good. Where you say you watching from again, bro?
Texas,
What part?
Magnolia.
Magnolia. That's
Yeah.
actually, that's not too far from me. Well, my brother, thank you so much for coming on. And by the way, Christopher says, "Wow, time flies by." He's celebrating his. He's been a member of the channel for about 5 months. I
But
want to say
hey,
thank you.
real quick, last thing I gotta say is
But
I I'm like you. I think Candace Owens is on the same page as this, and Miss Gina, and then the guy after her that came on. Let nations burn to freaking find this information out. That's what it should be. This is like the last
this is
stand. I
the
mean,
this
this
is the
is
final. Yeah, this
this.
is it.
Yes, this is it. I mean, this is your chance to prove that government can be honest with its people. And if it doesn't happen, I mean, this is it. But that's where I stand with it. So I'm on board with all those people saying that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you, Taylor.
Yeah, have a good night, man.
All right. All right, I'm gonna do one more, and I apologize to everybody here. I'm gonna do one more because time is we are hour and 4 minutes in. It's 10:43 p.m. Eastern time, 9:43 my time. I don't want to be on here too long. So I am going to. Oh my gosh, so many people, man. Uh, I'm really. By the way, I want to say, yo, shout out to y'all for coming on and speaking in front of 3,000 people. I don't know. Sometimes people like, just imagine 3,000 people in one room watching you. I think that's crazy. Somebody said, Lou, pick the cutest one. Yeah. Well, I got nothing but guys. Pick the cutest guy. Yeah, I'm not gay, so I'm not gonna do that. I do see Roy. I see David. Lisa doesn't have her camera on. I see Grace. I see Tops. That's a big man right there. I'm not gonna call him cute. I see Lamont. Not gonna call him cute. Okay, we have one, maybe. Okay, hello. You're the cutest one. How are you? You're a woman. And I'm gonna pick great. I'm gonna just pick the ladies. Is there any more ladies? My fault, fellas. I gotta show love to the ladies. Let me see. Okay, Lisa right here too. So I'm gonna do this. We're just gonna make it. Oh, Lisa, what's up? Any more ladies? Wave it, wave it, raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. No, no. All right, cool. All right, ladies.
Wow.
Somebody in the chat says we're doomed because I picked nothing but ladies.
Oh
Uh,
my
No,
God.
we're not.
No, you're not.
and we should not let you drive this live because women can't drive, and that's crazy. That's what somebody said. I didn't say that. All right, what are your thoughts, ladies? Talk to me.
I don't know who
Um,
wants to go, but one of my thoughts, first of all, Lou, blessings to you as always. I've been following you for so long. I saw you at the rally in the Bronx, and it was such a pleasure meeting you. You have a beautiful spirit. So I just wanted to start off by saying that thank you for your wonderful content. And thank you for keeping us abreast to what's going on.
Thank you. I
Um,
appreciate you. Thank you.
so one of the things that I want to say, I voted for Trump 3 times, and I don't know what lies behind the story. I do think that there is some kind of deep state that lies within the administration. I could be very wrong. Um, and I don't look at Trump as a god. I serve Jesus Christ. He is king. However, it what is making me question a lot is a lot of the things that Elon is posting up. And depending on if this is supposed to be some kind of gotcha where Trump is working behind the scenes, he's not doing it correctly. There are ways where Trump could say and have Pam Bondi as well as Tulsi Gabbard say, listen, we have evidence, we're going through it. We don't want to release this until we have all the information. You have to give us 6 months, 8 months. You don't have to camouflage it to the point where you have a lot of your followers and a lot of your voters apprehensive about what you're really doing. Again, there are ways, I work in politics. There are ways where people can go around and letting the people know that we're on top of this. The way Trump interjected when Pam Bondi was speaking, I thought he should have fall back. I didn't like the way he interrupted her. And like one of the panelists said, that it gives room to understand where is Tulsi Gabbard. It's a great question.
That is a great
It's
question.
a great question. Where is she? Why is she so silent? And why is Trump muzzling her? Um,
By the way, real quick, I did see a picture of Ghislaine Maxwell and Elon Musk. So, but that's another topic for another conversation. But Elon Musk saying that he was like, "Oh, my party will be the party to release this." I'm like, bro, your party's probably gonna do the same thing. Like you're
Yeah.
literally like on camera with Ghislaine Maxwell. Solange Cruz, thank you so much. But to your point, I do want to say, do okay, where's your trust? What to everybody in the chat and you, where's your trust level from 1 through 10 for when it comes to the FBI, DOJ, CIA with John Radcliffe, or the whole administration? What's your trust level now?
So my trust level is about an 8. And like I said, I work in politics. So I know what they do and what they don't do. Um, Me voting for Trump, like I said, it wasn't to have full faith in Trump, because at the end of the day, even though I look at Trump as a third party, and when I say third party, because he's MAGA, he did something different than Republicans do. However, he still shows up in some ways with this specific situation and with Israel, because that's another thing that's bugging me. I think we need to stay out of it. And I don't like the fact that he is too buddy with Netanyahu. Um, a lot of people on this platform, they feel that we have to work with Israel. Number one, people need to really read the Bible, because Israel was not a nation that God was speaking about. Israel was Jacob that became Israel, that had 12 children. And when God says you is not a nation, you is a person. Israel is a person. And if you really delve into the scriptures, you'll definitely understand that. Number two, um, Israel has 300 churches, Christian churches, and Palestine has over 700.
Mm.
So I personally look at the one that is opening up to Christianity. God says in Matthew 28 that we're to go out and preach the gospel and get all men saved. And the allegiance to those that don't believe in Christ as a Christian is beyond me. I am not a Christian Zionist. I am a Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. He is the
Uh,
only way, the truth, and the life. Period. That's all. So for those that are listening to pastors and not truly reading the scriptures, it's there. It's there. God, when God says to bless those that bless you, he was talking about Israel, Jacob that became Israel. So I just wanted to
can
say
I
that. Thank you for giving me this time, Lou.
I
And it's always a
appreciate you.
pleasure.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you so much for going. I
can,
appreciate you.
can
Thank you.
I can I give my 2 cents, Lou?
Go ahead. Go ahead. You're next. Go ahead. Thank
Hey,
you,
Lou, how
Lisa.
you doing? Long time no see. You haven't been to the
Um,
Bronx lately. How are
I
you?
know, I know. We've met each other quite a few times. I want to say I appreciate you coming on to the channel, and the fact that you're still watching and still supporting these
Yes, of
platforms.
course. Just
Thank
an
you.
FYI, I'm running for Bronx Borough President.
Yes, I think you
We're
told
gonna
me that
talk
when we
about
were
that.
with 40,
Anyway,
right?
this thing with Epstein. I don't know if you know. There's feedback. I keep hearing previous people that you talked to already. So it's like very distracting. Anyway, this thing with Epstein and Pam Bondi and Bongino and everybody. This is hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. No, all right. So I think everybody needs to just calm down. They got all their panties up in a bunch. They need to calm down. Remember, Chuck Schumer said that the intelligence community has every which way from Sunday to get you. Remember, the swamp is deep, and who has been the most vocal and most out of the gate person going after them? Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi has been a pit bull going after these people. So there are still operatives in the government. So we don't know. Everybody, I'd like to know, where was all this outrage when Biden was in office and all the crap they did? Where was all this outrage from people? Nobody said anything. So for everybody to get all crazy because of this, listen, we don't know what the bigger picture is. There's something else. And again, this could be a distraction. Remember, when they want to do something over there, they distract us over here. So you have to know, this is Trump plays 3D, 4D, 5D chess, and these people are trying to get rid of Pam Bondi and Bongino and Cash Patel. they're trying to get rid of them because they have been the ones going after the deep state and they don't like it. So I don't know what's going on as far as all this evidence. And really, at this point, I really don't care. I'm over 65. I really don't care about Jeffrey Epstein. And it makes me wonder, what do people expect to see? Do they want to see all these lurid pictures of the people that were abused? What do they expect to see? What I want to see who's the client list. I want to see why these are the people. That's what people need to be outraged about. Where are the people that procured the women? Who's the ones that perpetrated the crime? You can't, a prostitute wouldn't make any money if there were no jobs, right? So somebody paid Jeffrey Epstein to bring girls or to bring them to girls, however they worked it. You know, Obama's involved in that. Obama is he's. I mean, if you know Lou, Lou. You know Obama's been involved in this. Clinton's been involved in it. Both Clintons, male and female, they're all involved in this. So somebody's doing something to try to put a stain on Trump's agenda here. And people need to calm down and just go with it. You cannot believe what's going on. Maybe they'll come out with something, maybe they won't. But you know what? If this is what people are focused on, then they're focusing on the wrong thing. That's my opinion. They should be focusing. There's bigger fish to fry. Like the people who
I I
who
uh
Lou,
who are
can I
involved
say,
in it.
hold
All
on,
the
hold
big names, all these big names that they're hiding. Netanyahu is probably involved in that. Think about that. Israel is just as big a pedophilia
whoa,
uh,
whoa, whoa,
uh,
whoa, 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 whoa.
outlet, if you will, or sex
Oh,
town.
Grace. You're going off the shambles. Relax, please. Um, let's not make those accusations because we don't want letters of defamation to hit this channel, especially from Israel or the Israeli government. So let's relax on that. Also, again, Gray says something that I told you guys that Charlie Kirk said. Remember, Charlie Kirk said um, that people over the age of 45, even 35 to a degree, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, baby boomers, and people younger, you heard it. She doesn't care. You know what I
well,
mean?
I do.
Who cares about Epstein? Now, hold on, I'm gonna let you go, but that's my whole thing. It's like that attitude of there's bigger fish to fry. This is the biggest fish to fry.
That's the
This
only
is the
fish.
guy that has the names. This is the guy that has been friends with every celebrity, has all the tapes, has all the connections, connected to Bill Gates, connected to Prince Andrews, connected to some of the biggest names. This is the biggest fish to fry. This is the guy connected to the biggest thing. He had an island where famous people flew and he recorded them and, you know, did all these things. Like we know this. There's no bigger fish to fry than the king of the pedophiles. Like what bigger fish is there to fry other than this guy by the name of Jeffrey Epstein? This is the fish. Like this is it. Does not get bigger than this guy. So it's like, I don't know. Like you get mad at me because I say that I didn't like Trump's response. You tell me F you. Then you say we should get over this. We should focus on the winning. It's like, okay, I guess then I guess we shouldn't care about this into your opinion. But I beg to differ. But I guess there's a huge portion of people that think that MAGA is much bigger than the Epstein saga. Like we should stick to being MAGA more than care about this. And it's like, no, you'll never get me to do that. And I'm not gonna do that. Doesn't mean I don't love Trump. Doesn't mean I'm not appreciative of what's been happening at the border, what's been happening with peace, what's been happening as a whole. But it's like people are so quick. They're like, "Ooh, let's move out the way. Yeah, get out of here. We're winning. We're winning. We're winning. We're winning." No, this is the biggest loss. So again, you could call me weak. You can call me that all you want. You got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, "I don't care about Epstein. I don't care about pedophiles." Look at yourself in the mirror and say that to yourself. Cool. But you people that think like that make me sick. They make me want to throw up. Be honest with y'all. Make me want to puke, bro. It's like, but again, Charlie Kirk literally went on Fox News and he said he's noticing that there's a statistical difference between people under the age of 30 that support Trump, that really care about this, and over the age of 30, people don't. And it's like, whoa. All right. Sorry, I had to go on that rant. What is your name and where are you calling from? And you are my final caller today. I appreciate everybody coming through. Go ahead.
My name is Sandra, and I'm calling from Pearland, Texas, which by way of Houston, on the outskirts of Houston,
Okay, okay.
Texas.
We're not far from each other.
Yeah, I have been following you, Lou, for a minute now. I think you guys came over to George. You was with George and those guys,
Yes.
and yeah, and y'all come over to provoke thoughts. But anyway, um, that this situation with Epstein, this is the only thing that we should be focused on. And I want to get this straight for the people in the back of the bus. It's not just little girls that we're talking about. We're talking about little boys as well, because there were boys and girls. So, and 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 um, and when we talk about boys and girls, okay, you have to ask yourself the question. This guy, Abercrombie and Fitch, is totally connected to the Jeffrey Epstein situation. And these men, they were going around the country, you know, doing whatever they were doing to little boys, and using them as models and so forth and so on. But when I saw today President Trump intervene, and when he intervened, I thought he was going to intervene and speak on behalf of the questions that the people had, the concerns. But for him to say, we got bigger fish to fry, and we got bigger things to deal with, which is Texas. Yes, Texas gonna take care of Texas. We have always taken care of Texas. I have been in Texas all of my life, but that's not what's important right now. What's important is what you run on. You ran on the fact that you were going to release these files, and for Pam Bundy to come and say all of a sudden there is no files. I'm sorry, she need to go, because for you to say, you say that you had all of these files on your desk and it was just a matter of time for you to get to them because you had so many other things going on. Now if you have other things going on, that's one thing. But for the people, for Charlie Kirk to say people guess 40 and older or 35 and older doesn't care. I have grandbabies, and so I care. I truly care, because I refuse to sit here and act like nothing has happened to someone's child. And I believe that at this point now, because there have been no parents that's come forward, I believe that the parents need to be held accountable as well, because that means the parents were involved with whatever this man and other people were doing, and we need them all exposed. I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter. Let the chips fall where they may. If it's whatever countries involved, whatever cities, states, whatever, it does not matter. Let it fall where it may, because I believe in my heart. Yes, we are living in peerless times, but I believe in my heart that this is a test from God to our president to see if you're going to do what is necessary. This is necessary, because if you don't follow through with this, how can we expect for you to follow through with anything else? Because
Mm.
right now, those every child that was involved, that someone has taken advantage of or done something that's so heinous to somebody's child, you should want to know who did this and why. And how are we holding them up in standards and putting them in positions? And I believe in my heart it's the Republican and the Democratic Party. All of them are involved.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Again, that's a great point. I think that is an amazing point. I think that somebody said, how did we get here? Well, we got here because if somebody thinks it's like a fake report, no, this is a real report. This is from the DOJ. It's not just Axios. Axios just happens to be the first publisher to gather this story. Somebody in the Trump administration must have leaked it out. But this is a story that we all know has now been confirmed by the DOJ, that they have
And no, I don't
concluded.
trust the DOJ. I don't trust none of it. I believe we need to start over when it comes to the DOJ. All of them, they are all fake, corrupt, and if Epstein was part of the CIA, all of them need to be. I mean, just done away with.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good point. What was your name again?
Sandra,
Sandra from Texas. Thank you
yes.
so much for your passion. This is an amazing call and a good way to
Thank you
close
so
out.
much.
I want to
And
say thank
Lou,
you.
by the way, Net Yahoo, if you want, if the people want to know, you can go pull it up yourself. um, Israel was in the process of throwing him overboard before the situation with Gaza happened.
Before
They
October
was
7th.
Yes, they were getting ready to get rid of him. And if you read it, read everything. This man has done he's committed so many crimes. It's ridiculous. And he's got his hands in so much to where you have to wonder, why would we want to involve ourselves with someone like that?
Mm, mm. Okay. Good point. We've been preaching that on this channel for some
But
time. So
thank
many
you,
people.
and stay on their neck. Stay on their neck and don't get up off.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I just added somebody. Let me see what we could do here. All right, let me make sure. All right, I want to read this from Robert Arend. He says the Art of the Deal guide negotiated a deal with Netanyahu for the end of Bibi's war in exchange for dropping the Epstein investigation and for the Nobel Prize. You know, this would be considered a conspiracy, right? This would be considered. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, I don't know if by me saying yes, this is what happened would be me saying that I know that this is what happened. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like 65, 70% sure that this has to do with a lot of that. This is a great comment, $10 comment. Worth every penny. So I appreciate you. And we got one last one. Um, yeah, shout out to all the callers. Shout out to Taylor. Shout out to so many other callers. That Lisa, shout out to Stephanie, shout out to, oh my God, how good is my memory at 28 years old? Shout out to Gina. Gina Marie was one of the best calls I've ever had. I know there was more callers, but if I forgot you, thank you. Okay. Top says, I wanted to say that this administration wants us to talk about it. Wait, I wanted to say it is the administration wants us to talk about it. The big names are going to get out and get arrested. And there's going to be a RICO charge, in my opinion. Again, I told y'all that I wouldn't be surprised if out of nowhere, we get a huge announcement from the FBI of arrest connected to that, or people getting arrested, because I would not be surprised that that could be something that could happen. I'm not here exiting. I'm not here giving up. I'm just here saying what the hell is going on and talking to the people and getting their reactions, because that's what it is. We get the reactions. But I think people made good points. People said something good or huge can come out in the next 6 months or the next year that will be connected to this, or nothing could happen, and then people will be disappointed just like me. So who knows? Who knows? All right, I appreciate y'all. And here's another thing: it's like a lot of y'all don't even know. Y'all coming in here for the first time, like y'all are coming in here, and then you have no idea what's going on, and then you coming in asking a question of What's the news, bro? We've been on for an hour and 30 minutes. You've missed it. Everything. You missed it all. You got to go watch the whole thing over, bro. You missed it. You missed the party. You missed the arguing. You missed everything. All right. Somebody said bring a pretty girl up. I did see you earlier, but I see you're back. And per request of the chat, because I know there's a lot of guys that are single in this chat. I don't know why they're single.
Oh,
Uh, oh, you're married. So, guys, you're done.
sorry.
You're done, guys. You have no chat. What's your name? You said Megan?
Yes, my name is Megan. I'm from
Okay.
Denver, Colorado.
Okay. Denver,
Yes.
Colorado in the building. What I gotta close out. I did see you in the chat. I chose you over every other guy that was in there. My bad, Steve.
I'm honored.
Steve, I see you, Steve. I know you can hear me. I'm sorry. Megan just looked like somebody that the chat would want to see.
I appreciate
Close it out.
that. Thank you. Hey, they'll get their time next time, right?
Yeah. So
But
tell
yeah,
me.
I just
Close it out.
well, I'm grateful that you let me on. Um, I think the situation, I personally I kind of flip-flop back and forth, depending on like the different commentators I'm listening to, but earlier today Dave Smith did an episode, or maybe it was yesterday, I don't remember exactly. But he made a pretty valid point of, no matter like what is really going on behind the scenes, it's pretty depraved to, come on camera and lie so blatantly. And like, how do you like actually live with yourself and like go through, the thoughts of, you're going to be condemned publicly because I think most of America agrees, no matter what side you're on, there's something nefarious going on. And the cover up, what I don't know, it is very concerning, especially when Trump was
So you would say you think it's a cover up.
personally, I'm leaning towards it is a cover up. I still have some hope because I know sometimes we like, especially with Israel and Iran, I was very diehard, like, oh my gosh, we're going to war, it's all over. And then it ended up not being that way. So I'm trying not to allow myself to be emotionally driven. But even like the logic as it pans out, like I just don't understand how for years we have openly known a lot of information, even the things that were redacted still told a pretty clear story that there was some serious crimes happening. And to just close the investigation and act like the things that we saw weren't true, and to kind of make people like us feel kind of crazy because it is outlandish in a sense. Like some people might say it's outlandish to believe, oh my gosh, our country's run by pedophiles or whatever, like to somebody who hasn't done that research. But it just kind of leaves us feeling like we were left behind because this was something we were promised. So it's just kind of disheartening. But at the same time, there was a woman on earlier who had a lot of hope. She was very,
Hey, Stephanie, what's
what
her
did
name?
you
Yeah.
say? Yeah. You were like, oh, you're very optimistic. And so there's a part of me that wants to be optimistic because I do think Trump is a great president. But I'm afraid that this will leave a stain on his legacy if he doesn't,
If you know
if,
if
if.
there's no arrest, because mostly what I'm not gonna lie, like I remember, like let's go back before he even ran, like remember like the whole 2020 election and all these things were happening.
Mm-hmm.
Number one thing people wanted was people to be held accountable and arrested. There haven't
100%.
really been that, like that thing that people like, yo, if Trump gets elected again, people will go and be held accountable. It kind of sounds like that's not gonna be the administration. And to think that the DOJ, or let's just go to the FBI, to think that the FBI is being handled by Cash Patel and also like Dan Bongino, like hardcore people that we watch and listen to,
Yeah.
and that told us what they would do if they were in charge, and now they're in charge, and it's kind of like, whoa, bro, like you're folding, like
Yeah, I totally
you're,
agree.
you got the video of
Yeah.
Cash Patel coming out, and he's like, what are these Republicans doing? Like, why aren't they doing this and why aren't they doing that? He's that. Like he's
Yeah, like
become that.
even it's crazy because even like weeks before he was appointed to the FBI, and even Dan Bongino, like right before he was put on as deputy director, like they were very loud and serious about these issues. and saying like, do not let these things go. And a lot of people have pointed out that like you look at them now, they kind of look dead in the eyes, like something has happened, something is not sitting well. And I don't know if, you know, there's been theories of like maybe they have been blackmailed too and they're a part of this ring. I've heard that being said about Trump too. But then I've also heard other things that like the whole Jeffrey Epstein case isn't as deep as people say it is, but I don't believe that because he was already you know, convicted of this crime back in 2000, what was it, 2008 or 2009, and was handed a sweetheart deal, did not get the, like, you know, the punishment he should have gotten for the charges that he was given, soliciting prostitution for minors. So you know, it's just kind of hard. There's so many
And
different
I
opinions out
go
there,
to
but
close it out.
yeah,
I'll
go
go
ahead.
back to a story that was like viral, right? It's like
Yeah.
people in MAGA would come up. They would come up on stage and tell the story about Trump kicking Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago for his behavior, right? But those
Yeah.
now that story is kind of like, where's that energy? You know what I mean? Where's
Totally
that?
agree.
So I don't know. I'm just seeing a lot of people play this game that I'm not really interested in playing. Right? I'm seeing other
Yeah.
channels and people that I love and respect trying so hard to move on and trying to give people this optimism about something. Like I don't. I just don't. I'm just not gonna play that game with people. I think that's
Yeah.
hard. I think that's hardcore cope. And I'm not gonna be that guy
Yep.
because I am again. I'm under the age of 30, and statistically, according to Charlie Kirk, I care more about this, and I don't. I refuse to believe that though. I think that people in his chat, like that are 70 years old or that are even older, like I think they care. You know what I
These
mean?
people care. Yeah.
Yeah, I say like
Well, it's
70
our
years old,
children.
60 years old, 60 years old. I think they care. You know what I mean? There's just
Yeah.
some people that they don't, but I think that's minimal. I
I,
think there's a lot of people here that care.
I think there's people who like to let on that they're righteous and have integrity, but when push comes to shove, they falter every time because that's this situation is a prime example of that. Because if you are to follow through on prosecuting these people for their crimes, it's going way deeper than just our government. It's going to other countries' governments. It's going to the highest levels of the elite, and there's a lot of risk in that. But that risk, is that really worth living with the fact that you're allowing pedophiles to continue and do what they have been doing without punishment, when you know for a fact this is what's going on and you have the power at this point to actually do something about it? You know, that's integrity. And I also think a lot of these people who are trying to push it under the rug, they're, I don't know what it is, if they're scared. Like you said earlier, let it all crumble, let it all fall down. It's a broken system. If this is what it's running on, it needs to go and it can be rebuilt. It'll be hard, but it's worth it to know that we're protecting the most innocent people in our society. Like there's no good society that has ever existed or will continue to exist if you're not taking care of your innocent. You know, like the elderly and the children, they have to be taken care of. If not, your society is so backwards and it's
Yeah,
only a matter of time before it collapses. So that's
yeah.
what I'm afraid of
I
for
think
America,
I think
honestly.
society would be cooked regardless.
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough.
By the way, I never want to ask a woman their age, but how old are you?
I am going to be 28 later this year.
So you're about my age. Wow, somebody
Yeah.
is my age. You know, I gotta say, shout out to the older individuals that I love. We have a love and hate relationship. Boomers and I have a love and hate
Me
relationship.
too.
Baby boomers or people younger, we have a great relationship. If you're in your 50s, we have a great relationship. If you're in your 60s, we have a great relationship. It's that 65 and over crowd that sometimes we kind of go with at it sometimes, but I love y'all
Yeah.
regardless. But I do want to say I'm pretty happy seeing you on the channel. That's why I brought you up because I'm like,
Yeah.
man, she looks so young. You know, so it's
Oh
good to
yeah.
see young and older individuals kind of like talking and relating. It's a good thing. But Megan, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely. God
All
bless
right,
you.
God
God
bless
bless
you as well.
everyone.
All right, Megan. Shout out to you from Colorado. Um, Somebody said something very interesting. And I want to get off this live stream, but man, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably one of the best live streams we've been cooking up. Gotta tell ya, man, these last few live streams have been amazing. Like we've been cooking up. We've had really good conversations. All right. I'm going to close it out with this because I do want to attack this point eventually later on. And I want everybody to listen to this. Why are people mad at Trump because of his Israel relationship? Many people are very hardcore Christians, right? They got the Bible, right? They got a Bible. They go, they open it, they read it, they read what's going on. They read the book of Revelations, they know what's going on. Bibi Netanyahu is someone who is of another religion. Israel is Jewish. They're Jewish people. We share the first half of the Bible. Then Jesus comes and kind of, things get intermingled, right? Jesus breaks the barrier of the walls. They don't accept Jesus as their Messiah, but we do, and we are expecting him to come back. They're waiting for their Messiah. The Jews are. I'm speaking of religion now. I'm not speaking of hatred. I'm not speaking of anything else. When you see the United States of America bow down to Bibi Netanyahu, knowing that there have been reports that Bibi Netanyahu was told by a visionary that he is going to be one of the guys that ushers in their Messiah, Al-Masih. Christians in America are looking at Trump like we shouldn't play a part in blasphemy. I'm going to be honest. So that's why a lot of people that are Christian, hardcore Christian people that believe that Jesus Christ is the Messiah, the King of the Jews, knowing that we are assisting the Jews of today that don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah, that we are assisting in their Al-Masih. So I just think that it's a conflict of interest to be this faithful and be a Zionist. That's what bothers me about the boomers, because the boomers are the ones that really are like stuck on this, and they're Christians, but they believe we should have you not paid attention to Bibi Netanyahu? He's there to do a favor, to work for and in behalf of bringing in the religion of the Torah, like the Torah, the book of the Torah, the religion of the Jews. It's different. So I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This has nothing to do with hatred. This is just religion talk. Because somebody made a comment and I couldn't pin it, but that's why a lot of Christians in America are like, when they see the type of relationship that we are building with this nation that does not believe that Jesus was the Messiah, and we are like putting them first, we're going to war for them, we're doing all this, we're doing all that, knowing that they're expecting their Messiah, even though we already know who the Messiah is. That's why a lot of Christians have a problem. That's my explanation. That's what I was thinking. I wanted to get that out. And I don't want you to think that it's like a hatred toward anybody or that, because I don't need to. There's no need for that. It's just more like, what type of Christian are you? That's all. That's my final thoughts. So that's it, bro. I think that's it. This was a very long live, longer than I wanted it to be. But yeah, what if tomorrow, right? Let me just paint this picture. What if tomorrow the state of Israel announces that Al-Masih is here? What are you going to do then? It's a great question. I know I'm asking one of the greatest questions of this generation's time. Tomorrow, Bibi Netanyahu says, the Messiah is here. What are you going to do then as a Christian? Ted Cruz, what are you going to do? I just asked, that's the best question you can ask. Like that, I don't need to be that bright to know that. That's the crazy thing. Tomorrow, the state of Israel says, the country of Israel says, that's why a lot of Christians in America are iffy. They're like, kind of not on the same page. That's why you see people acting the way. That's why you want to know what made Nick Fuentes pop? That. Why do people like Nick Fuentes exist? That specific Nick Fuentes is popular because of that. You can make that same argument about the left. Why is Tariq Nasheed or Dr. Umar Johnson popular? All right, like you want to know why that is a thing? It's because of that. That's my opinion. That's what I see. And I'm not afraid to say it. It's like, yo, this is why people have become this. Obviously, they have their own racial undertones when they talk, and they stop being Christian the moment they measure America by its whiteness. Then that's when they lose me, because it's like, oh, you measure like what Jesus, what, so it becomes that. But that's why their positions on Israel are very popular now. They're no longer considered anti-Semitic by the American people. Only ADL, only the Jews, or only people in Israel will consider that anti-Semitic. In America, a lot of Americans are like, nah, that's not anti-Semitic, bro. And that's a huge problem for the Republicans that are Zionists. They're losing the plot. That's why Candace Owens has become this popular. You want to know why? Why are you 65 and 70 years old, a boomer, and you hate Candace Owens? Because you love Israel the way you love Zionism. But why are you 45 and 35 and 28 and love her? Well, because you kind of agree with her. You know what I mean? This is the balance of life that I've come to find in this content creation world. Why are some people popular? You know, within certain age brackets and groups. This is it, you know? And why are the people mad at me, cursing at me, grown individuals in their 60s? I'm kind of figuring it out. You're giving yourself away. I know your age by the comments. That sucks. I could tell. Like, I know you are over the age of 70, bro. And somebody says, stop it with the age. No, I'm not going to stop it with the age, because I think that we have a problem. We have a disconnect, and I don't want that. I want to be somebody that builds the bridge and tries to hang on to that. But I'm not going to lie to y'all. This Epstein stuff is building a bridge. You know what it is? This bridge is breaking. It's like falling apart. We are starting to disconnect age-wise, and it's becoming dangerous. Like, it's becoming dangerous, bro. Some people think I have a problem with older people. I don't. But again, like, if you're taking it to be that, then you're just not listening to what I'm saying. And you don't need to be here, because you just don't. But I'm just saying, like, having that, like, Grace. I love Grace. I've met Grace a bunch of times, but that's the gap that's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. And here I am trying to hang on to that. I'm trying to hang on to you. It's just becoming harder and harder, bro. Like, that's just what it is. You call me crazy all you want. You can go to Barry Cunningham's channel. You could go to Benny Johnson. You could go to Ben Dyke's channel. You can go to all these guys' channels. You can do that. Feel better about yourself. Or you could come here, be uncomfortable, have uncomfortable conversations. I'm for sure. I love those guys, but you could go to Benny Johnson. You could go to Charlie Kirk. What did Charlie Kirk do today? You want to know what Charlie Kirk did today? All this stuff is happening. You want to know what he's focusing on? DEI. When all the Epstein shit fails, they go start blaming race again. They go start blaming black people for this and that and the third. They start talking about this, that, and the third. I'm telling y'all, it's a thing. Go look at the way Charlie Kirk, on the day that the Epstein files news came out, want to know what he said? We should focus on Islam. The West, they're taking over the West. That same day, he didn't even wait 2 days. He said that conservatives need to focus more on Islam and not the Epstein files. That's what he said. And I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I'm not dumb, bro. You're trying to ignore this and jump right into coping in that way. And maybe some other people won't see it the way I do, but that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of these prominent people do this thing with shit gets uncomfortable. They go and start attacking the next group. And I'm like, what? Like, bro, leave black people alone for a few days, bro. Just chill. This is nothing to do with them right now. But that's the coping mechanisms that I've noticed. And again, you don't have to agree with me. But before I leave, I want to say thank you. I've been getting a lot of people saying that, Lou, I know there's people unsubscribing, but I'm a new subscriber. So if you're a new subscriber, Thank you. And I love you and I appreciate you. And if you've been here from day one, or you've been here for a few months, or you've been here since yesterday, or you've been here, I want to say thank you, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to do live streams. We're going to do panels. We're going to be lit. We're going to be, we're going to connect the bridge from the baby boomers to the boomers to the younger generations. I will never give up on y'all. And I hope that y'all don't give up on me. As I've noticed, y'all have been giving up on me. Y'all have been. I'm disappointed about that because I haven't given up on you. I might criticize you, but I will never give up on you, bro. All right? So stop giving up on me. Stop. Please. I don't deserve that. But things happen. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And with that being said, I'm ending this live stream. I'll see you guys on the next one.